In question number 7, we want on the same diagram a sketch of these two graphs. Well, let's go ahead and get the information. We got an amplitude of 3. When 1, we've got a frequency of 1, and then 2. Period then would be 2 pi for the one, and then it's going to be pi for the other one. The midline for both of them looks like it's going to be y equals 0. Make a note, we're talking about radians, so if you're having to draw your axis, it's got to be in radians. If I take 360 and divide it by 4, I'm going to go 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. Those are going to be my main points. This one has got a frequency of 2, so it's going to be 360 divided by 8, or 45 degrees, or pi over 4. And so I'm going to go 0, pi over 4, and then 2 pi over 4, which is half, and then 3 pi over 4, and then 4 pi over 4. That's going to give me one whole cycle. Once I have that, I can figure out the rest. So let's go ahead and try it. 3 sine 0 degrees is going to be 0. 3 sine pi over 2, and then we'll put in pi, and we'll get in 0, and then we're going to get 3 pi over 2, and we're going to get negative 3, and then 2 pi, and we get a 0. And there's our cycle. And all we got to do is connect the dots, make the curves flatten out when we get to the edges. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other graph. So for the cosine, we've got to make sure we label ours first one. All right, so let's go back over here now, and let's take a look at the cosine graph. Y equals cosine 2 times 0, 1. Y equals 2 times pi over 4. That's going to be 0. Y equals 2 times 2 pi over 4, negative 1. 2 times 3 pi over 4. 2 times 4 pi over 4, which happens to be pi, and should be one complete cycle. And once we see one complete cycle, we can take a look at the pattern, and we can just figure out the pattern is going to continue for a second time, since there should be 2 complete cycles, 2 frequency. And then we got that one. We go ahead and label it, and we're done. So take a look at part B. State the number of solutions. If they're equal to each other, well, that's where they intersect. In this case, we've got 2 of them. So that's our answer. Thanks for watching. Hope that helped.